wires crossed, lights flickering. Today, we're not talking about your customer's electrical panel. We're talking about your marketing panel that's about to get a serious upgrade. I'm Leonard Parker, founder of Destiny Marketing Solutions. If you're running an electrical services business doing over $200,000 a year, but you still feel visible online, stick around. I'm about to show you why your perfect customers can't find you and how to fix it with some high voltage adjustments to your digital presence. And don't go anywhere, because at the end, I'll share one expert tip that can boost your website's trust signals almost overnight. Let me ask you something. When's the last time you used Google? Probably today. Now, when's the last time you clicked past the first result because you got exactly what you needed without even visiting a website? That's a new reality we're facing. Tools like Google's AI overviews and ChatGPT are answering questions directly. And here's what most electricians haven't realized yet. Your customers don't need to visit your website anymore to get answers. Think about it. Someone asks, how much does an electrical panel upgrade cost? And boom, AI gives them an answer. No clicks, no website visits, just an answer. If your business website isn't optimized for AI search, you're basically invisible. Traditional SEO alone just won't cut it anymore. What matters now is AEO, Answer Engine Optimization, because that determines if you even make it into the conversation. The key takeaway here is pretty shocking. If your business isn't in the answer box, it might as well not exist. So, what exactly is this AEO thing I'm talking about? Again, AEO stands for Answer Engine Optimization. It's all about optimizing your online presence for how AI engines deliver answers, not just how they rank websites. Here's the critical shift. It's not about ranking anymore, it's about being the answer. When someone asks their phone, who's the best electrician in Chicago for EV charger installation? AEO determines whether your business gets mentioned or your competitor does. The businesses winning at this game focus on structured, clear, and trusted content. Electricians who rank well in AEO get more high-quality leads because they're literally being recommended by AI. And the best part, AEO helps you stand out even if you're not number one in the traditional search rankings. Remember this, AEO isn't some future trend to worry about later. It's already deciding who gets leads today. So, how do you actually optimize for answer engines? First, you need to structure your website's content so both machines and humans can easily understand it. Start with clear headings and subheadings. So for HTML, you want to make sure that your content is properly using heading tags. So heading 1s, heading 2s, commonly abbreviated as H1s and H2s. You want to make sure that the content on your pages is set up as a hierarchy with a clear logical structure. This isn't just good for humans scanning your content, it's how AI systems understand what each section is about. Bullet points and number lists make content scannable. Who else loves lists? AI systems scanning your site for answers. Next, include concise answers to common electrical questions. And concise. The average voice search results is just 29 words long. Then there's the schema markup. Think of it as labels that tell AI exactly what your content is. FAQ schema, how-to schema, local business schema. These are like neon signs pointing AI to your content. Finally, use tables, comparisons, and short definitions when appropriate. When a customer asks, what's the difference between 100 amp and 200 amp service? A clear comparison table helps Google and other AI-powered search tools extract the answer. The bottom line, if a robot can't understand your site, it won't show it to anyone. In the days of keyword stuffing and even just traditional best practices for SEO are not going to be sufficient for the future of being found in search. Next, you want to make sure you own the frequently asked questions within your given niche and your given location. One of the easiest ways to dominate AI search is to own the FAQs. Answer job-specific questions like, how much does a panel upgrade cost? But don't just give a generic answer. Add details, add a location. The average cost for a panel upgrade in Sugar Land, Texas ranges from $2,000 to $4,000, for example. And you can add on something like it depends on amperage and complexity. Create FAQ pages for each service you offer. So you can either have a standalone FAQ page on your site, or what I prefer to do is have relevant FAQs on that page itself. So for example, if you offer EV charging installation, have EV charging installation related FAQs on that page so that it's relevant and it's there for people who are already interested in that service. I've seen electrical businesses here in Houston create pages like common electrical questions in the Woodlands that absolutely crush it in local search. Always use schema markup so your FAQs show up in Google's People Also Ask section. Those People Also Ask boxes are gold mines for voice search. Then repurpose those FAQs into blog posts and social snippets. One good answer can feed your content machine for weeks. The pattern is clear. The more questions you answer clearly and directly, the more leads you attract. Just that simple. Now, answering questions isn't enough if AI doesn't think you're trustworthy. Think about it. If I just started my electrical service business and you've been in business for 50 years, who should be the authority when it comes to electrical matters? I might be an expert in my own mind, but I could not compete with your years of actual on-the-job experience. So this is where EEAT comes in, or spelled out experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. Think of EEAT as your business credit score for AI. Low score, limited visibility. So how do you boost your EEAT? Include credentials, licenses, years of service, and certifications prominently. Don't just say licensed electrician, say master electrician with Texas license number 12345, serving Houston since 2005. Add bios and photos of your team. It's very important, especially for the owner or the leadership team, to have your bios and photos, because as the owner, the founder, you're going to be the key contact at that business. So you want to make sure that you have information. And if you are creating content on your website like blogs, whoever is listed as that blog author, make sure there's an author page so that Google and other AI-powered search tools can start connecting that person with content on the website and away from the website as well. People connect with people, and so do AI systems looking for signs of legitimacy. Showcase your awards, your insurance coverage, and community involvement. Were you voted best electrician in your city? Did you sponsor the local Little League team? Feature it prominently. Finally, use HTTPS. So HTTPS is a extra layer security. It's really something that's very common now, but there was a point in time that it wasn't. So if you go to your website in a browser and you don't see HTTPS, or you don't, some browsers that have a little padlock symbol, you probably don't have that SSL certificate. So it's actually really straightforward. If you are working with a developer, have them add the SSL certificate, or you can call your hosting company directly and they can add it for you. Usually it takes maybe only a few minutes, but you want to make sure you have that as an extra layer of security, because remember, these search tools, they want to provide the best user experience, and they don't want to send users to websites where there might be potential security risk. Also, make sure you include privacy policies and review widgets. Privacy policies, terms of conditions, what I call the legalese for your website. You can go find out a template and just replace in those templates with your business name and just add that as a page on your site. And you'll usually find these links in the footer of your site. But again, this adds legitimacy for your site, because From the perspective of a AI-powered search bot, any legitimate website, credible business, they're going to have these different links and pages on their site. These technical trust signals matter more now than ever. Remember this, AI engines trust businesses that look legit, so you need to prove you are. Now, with structured data, we're going to get a bit more technical, because if you really want to win at AEO, you need to use structured data everywhere you can. Add local business schema with accurate NAP. NAP, if you haven't checked out it, I went over this in an earlier video, but NAP stands for name, address, and phone. So you want to make sure that this is consistent across your website and any other online profile that you may have for your business. Accurate NAP tells AI systems exactly who you are and where you serve. Use service schema to describe what you offer, so that can include emergency services, panel upgrades, and so forth. But here you want to be specific. Include review schema, FAQ schema, and how-to schema throughout your site. This structured data helps Google and AI tools index your content properly and pull it into the answer boxes. You can then use tools like Google's rich results test to validate your schema. Nothing worse than thinking you've implemented schema correctly, only to find out it's broken. The key insight here, schema is the language that AI speaks, so start talking. Next, you want to publish content that solves the real problems of your customer. Beyond structure, so as I mentioned earlier, properly structuring your content with those heading tags, you need content that actually solves real problems. Focus on our pain points, flickering lights, breaker trips, charging problems. These are the issues that drive urgent searches. Don't just identify problems, explain them clearly, offer solutions, and tie everything back to your services. If your breakers keep tripping, it could be a sign of an overloaded circuit. While you can temporarily resolve this by redistributing high-draw appliances, a professional panel inspection might be needed to prevent fire hazards. So that's just one example. Another example, include location-based variations. So if you're watching this and you're somewhere in the Gulf Coast, as I am, you know that here in the next few months, the month is May now, we're going to be in the middle of hurricane season. So you want to make sure that you are preparing your potential customers and anyone in your target service area for what may happen and what risks they have with natural disasters like hurricanes. So the time to be visible is not when after the hurricane happens, but you want to be top of mind before. So you might have something like, why is my power out in your city? So I'll pick Pearland here, for example, Pearland, Texas. So that will get more local traction than generic power outage content, because maybe there are specific nuances that your prospective customer needs to be aware of for their local area. Always link related services and include book a call calls to action within your educational content. So it's great that you're giving out that education, but you always want to tie it back to your business goals, which is to get that call or to get that form filled. So make sure you're always including those calls to action to drive prospective customers further in their journey where they'll most likely choose you. Short videos or diagrams can also boost clarity dramatically. So I love a mixed content approach where maybe you have a blog on a specific topic or a service page and you complement that content, that text content, with a video or even with a short view on your mobile phone, just explaining a particular topic. So the bottom line here, be the helpful expert, not just the sales guy. Then the leads will follow. With voice search and feature snippets, this is where we bring everything together, optimizing specifically for voice search and feature snippets. So I know the focus of this video is AI-powered search, but you'll find that there's a lot of overlap between voice search optimization, optimizing for visibility and feature snippets, and optimizing for AI search tools. Use natural language questions and answers throughout your site. Think about how people actually talk. Hey Siri, why do my lights flicker when the AC turns on? Write with a conversational tone in key sections, especially the first paragraph of any page. Answer the question first, then elaborate. Don't bury the lead. Use what, how, and can questions in your heading 2 tags. These questions words dominate voice searches. When creating content, think, what would someone ask Siri about this? And if you're not an iPhone user, what would someone go to ChatGPT? How would they ask ChatGPT? Then structure your answer accordingly. Here's why this matters. Most voice search answers come from featured snippets, so that's what you need to aim for. If you're finding this valuable so far, hit that subscribe button. I release new marketing insights for electrical businesses every week, and you don't want to miss out on strategies your competitors might already be using. Now, before I go into my sales spiel, I wanted to share my screen and really go into more detail about some of the topics that I covered so far in this video. So I'll start from the top, just to make sure we're all in the same place. So for Google, AI overviews, if you never noticed them, they're here at the top of the search results. So I just did a quick search for what should customers look for in a completed electrical project. And you see here right at the top, Google is pulling content from different sources. So the websites you see over here, this is where it's pulling this content from and trying to provide a comprehensive response to my search. And so it's very important, especially for local searches. If you can get this visibility, it's a great way if maybe your website is fairly new or relatively new to the competition. It's still a good way to get at the top of the search results. Whereas maybe if you have stronger competitors, but maybe their content strategy isn't very strong or their SEO optimization isn't very strong, in that case, you can perhaps get visibility ahead of them. Because you'll notice for AI overviews, these are even above ads, these are above all other types of search results. And so that's important to keep in mind. It's not something that you just want to ignore. In fact, 48% of all Google search results, they're going to have this AI overview section. And my prediction is that's only going to increase over time as people become more comfortable with using these AI powered search tools. You're not a Google person, it doesn't matter because with Bing, they also have their own version of AI overviews. And you can see here, very similar, it's trying to put together a comprehensive response to my search query. And then it includes links to where it found the answers to build that response. One other thing I wanted to call out here, I made the mention of people also ask questions. So you haven't watched our previous videos. This is a section on the search results, and these are the common questions that people will ask related to your search. So if the well is running dry as far as relevant questions that you can target, then just go down here. You can start getting some ideas on the type of content you can create or FAQs you should address on your website. And one thing about the people also ask section, as you start expanding some of these accordion menus, you'll start seeing the list get longer and longer. And those questions, as you keep drilling down, they're going to get more and more specific. One other thing that I mentioned, feature snippets. I know I do a lot of SEO and marketing jargon at you, but I wanted to make sure to get through my material. But a feature snippet, I'll give you an example here. So let's say if we did, so bear with me, I'm doing this live with you. So let's see what we come up with here. So no examples of feature snippets here. Let's try a different search. Let's do, what is a level 2 EV charger? And you see a lot of AI overviews for these where there used to be feature snippets. So here's one example. It's pulling information from different sources. So in this case, what is a level? I forgot to include the level grade, but it's pulling different searches from Reddit, from Facebook. So that's a good sign that if you are trying to create content around this topic, take a look at the discussions that are being had on Facebook and Reddit. You can continue scrolling to the right. You even see there's some specific YouTube videos that are being pulled here. This is an example of a feature snippet, and my recommendation, if you are creating content, I would look at these sources and not necessarily compete with them, but make sure that you have some presence on Reddit. Make sure you have some presence on Facebook. Make sure you have a video that targets that specific topic if it's relevant. And this will give you multiple opportunities to have visibility for that search query. So I just want to make sure to define and show you examples of some of the things that I mentioned earlier in the video. Now I'm going to switch over here, and I mentioned the EEAT. Again, that was the experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. So we have developed an SOP on how you can make sure that your business is well optimized for this, because it is a critical factor in answer engine optimization. So I won't go through this step by step, it's quite detailed, but what I will do is share a link to this so you can take a look at this SOP. Maybe if you're more of a do-it-yourselfer, feel free to pass it along to your marketing team, or if you would like us to look at your EEAT, happy to do. But the one thing I want to focus on here are the 30 essential factors. And this is something that we're always updating because it's definitely not something that's static. Physical address, phone number, domain, email addresses. You want to make sure, think of this as a checklist, that you have all of these things checked off if they're relevant, because this is what AI powered search tools, Google, Bing, this is what they're looking for. So this is a great way to future-proof your business SEO so that you're not falling behind. And yep, I'll drop that link in the YouTube description here. And now I'm going to switch over to my other browser. I talked a bit about schema generation. And I've always been a fan of different schema creation tools. Of course, you can write your schema manually, but for the majority of business websites, if you can find a tool that will generate the schema for you, that's just going to make your work more efficient. So I actually use ChatGPT for this. I'll drop this. It's a specialized GPT focused on schema generation for AI search. And so all you do is enter your website URL. So I used a website based in the Chicago area. This is, let's see, down. Yep, so I use Arnold Electric Chicago. And what this schema will do is actually, or this this GPT will do is generate the relevant schema for that page. And so what I suggest is going through each page of your website, and I would prioritize those pages that you really want to be visible in the search results. So think your home page, your services pages, your blog pages. Have some type of prioritization. Plug in your URL. So you can see I just dropped in this URL for Arnold Electric. They're based in Chicago. And then it generated the different types of schema that are relevant for their homepage. And so I won't just stop there. I would make sure that you check this schema for any issues or errors. And so you can just copy and paste the schema, bring it over here to the structured data testing tools. So you can go to the schema markup validator. And I'll make sure to drop these links in the video description. And let's just take the first part of the schema. You can copy it, drop it over here. And you want to make sure you choose code snippet. Run the tests, and there you go. So what you're looking for, first, it should pick up the type of schema. So this is a local business schema. They are a local electrical service company in the Chicago area. But you want to make sure there are no errors and warnings. And if they are, then this is where you can go in and modify this JSON LD so that you resolve that error. So that does get technical. So I suggest if you are working with a developer or SEO, freelancer or expert, that this is something you delegate to them. But if you are more of a do-it-yourselfer, you can then take this snippet and then copy and paste it into the HTML or backend of that page. And this way, and then you can also just run it again with the published URL to make sure that you're still not getting any errors and that the tool is picking up that schema. The other thing I wanted to show you, I also talked a bit about making sure you're answering questions. So this is another GPT I use. Shout out to Steve Tuff with the SEO Notebook Agency. They have built a LLM brand visibility scorecard. And what you'll do here is type in your key topic. So let's say if you're an electrician, business or service provider in the Miami area, type in Miami electrician. And then it'll generate the questions that you should focus on answering on your website. And there are different ways, of course, to answer these questions. You can create text or create text content around them. If you're short on time, what you could also do, most modern mobile phones, you can record yourself talking, and then there are apps that will transcribe that text, and then you could just copy and paste that onto your website. Maybe you clean it up a bit. You can also create short form videos around these different questions. So this is where YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram and Facebook Reels would be a good type of content to create. I know some people are still a bit intimidated by video. So if you are, stop being shy. It's not that bad. But if you really want to just focus on text content, this is one way you can still target and optimize your site for AI-powered search. And so what I would do, just take a list of all of these questions, and you'll notice for some of these, let's zoom in here a bit so you can better see. So for number 1, it says, what are the top rated electrical service providers in Miami for residential projects? So it provides an answer. So it says top rated names include Mr. Sparky of Miami, Ampy Electric, and Electro Electricians. So let's say if you're not one of those 3 businesses or don't represent one of those 3 businesses, then what do you do there? What I suggest is creating comparison content. So you know your market better than you do. You hopefully know your competitors well. Maybe what is a competitive advantage that you have over those competitors? And that could be one thing you include here. And you want to make sure that you just are addressing these different questions. So this is a competitive space. So don't be intimidated to saying why you're better than the competition, because these are the types of questions that your prospective customers are asking. So we have MOFU questions, which is marketing slang for middle of the funnel. So this is where your customer already knows they have a problem, and now they're trying to figure out what is the best solution. And for electricians, it's specifically who is the best provider for their needs. Then we have BOFU questions, or short for bottom of the funnel. So these customers or prospective customers, they're ready to pick up the phone. They're ready. They might have already started submitting contact form submissions, and now they're ready to make a decision. They probably have their phone out. They have looked at their budget. It fits in their budget, and they're ready for the next step. So my advice to you is make sure that you address these questions. And like I said, I'll share a link to this GPT, the Schema GPT, and this brand visibility GPT. And you do need to have the pro version of ChatGPT to use this. But if you're not interested in drilling into this, that's why we're here. We can definitely help you build a AI power search optimization roadmap for your electric services business. So going back to my slides, hopefully that was helpful. So I already mentioned how all of these things works, how you can actually action some of these recommendations for AI powered search. But for here at Destiny Marketing Solutions, we use the full circuit growth method to tie this all together. We future-proof electrician marketing by going beyond basic traditional SEO. This method weaves in AEO, trust-building content, and conversion strategy, so you show up in search, earn clicks, and actually close jobs. The method takes you from a lack of qualified leads all the way to your dream outcome through a systematic approach. We start by addressing the fundamental challenge, lack of qualified leads. Then move through getting found by the right clients, converting more leads into projects, knowing what's working, and ultimately reaching your dream outcome. This integrated approach means as search technology evolves, your marketing evolves with it. Because if your marketing doesn't evolve, eventually your leads will evaporate. So how do you know where your business stands with all this AI search stuff? That's where our full circuit growth audit comes in. We assess your website's AI readiness, checking for schema usage, content clarity, and all the elements that I've discussed in this video. We review how your business appears in AI search and the Google search generative experience right now, because you might be shocked to discover what customers are actually seeing. We compare your site against competitors for AEO visibility, because knowing where you stand is the first step and half the battle. And finally, we deliver a plan to boost visibility, clicks, and book jobs with actionable steps tailored to your specific business. The key takeaway here, being AI search friendly isn't optional anymore. It's your next competitive edge. At Destiny Marketing Solutions, we help electricians future-proof their lead flow. If you're ready to stop being invisible to AI and start dominating the answers your customers are looking for, book your full circuit growth audit today. You can visit our website at destinymarketingsolutions.com or schedule directly by calling us at 888-846-4937. We're based in Houston, but serve electrical businesses nationwide. Remember, if AI engines can't find you, customers won't either. Let's change that together. And now for the expert tip I promise. Here's the fastest way to boost your AI visibility and trust signals. So remember those middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel questions that I just reviewed here a short while ago? You can take those questions and build one central FAQ hub on your website, answering them in a way that customers actually ask. So use question-based heading 2 tags with clear 2 to 4 sentence answers directly under each one. Keep those answers concise. Remember that 29-word sweet spot I mentioned earlier. Apply FAQ page schema markup to the entire page. So remember the GBT that generates the schema for you. You can use that to generate that schema and then add it to your website. You can use tools like that GPT, or if you're not on the pro version of ChatGPT, you can use Merkle's schema generator to generate the schema for you if you're not well versed with JSON-LD. Make sure that you include local modifiers in both the question and answer, like how much does panel replacement cost in Irving, Texas? And update this hub on a regular basis based on what you find in your Google Search Console and just your own research and questions that you're getting from your prospects and your customers. This one strategy alone can dramatically improve your chances of dominating AI search responses, giving you passive, high-intent lead flow. That's it for today's high-voltage marketing advice. Remember, in a world where AI is answering the questions, you need to be the answer they're giving. I'm Leonard Parker with Destiny Marketing Solutions, keeping your electrical business connected to the customers who need you most.